Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. 𝐊𝐿𝐷𝐿 for 𝐾𝐈 TV, welcoming you all to another edition of Executive Corner Expert Talks. Here on the channel, we're bona fide travel enthusiasts, and viewers, you might remember our deep dive into the travel tech space on Travel Insights. Well, today we're joined by an industry expert that's cut from the same cloth. Murray Decker is the CEO of 𝐷𝐷𝐿, the complete streamlined booking system that's specifically designed for multi-day tour agents and operators. Welcome to the show, Murray. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you very much for having me, Kelly.
It's great to have you on. Now, first of all, I've got to ask, since things are panning out quite well for the travel space, we might be soon witnessing at the beginning of a new age of travel. Do you think the industry is ready?
I do, and I'm actually talking to you from Greece at this stage, which most of Europe, UK, and US, Canada have been open for the last three, 4 months, and they're back to pre-COVID levels. Very different travellers, but certainly by the end of this year to the beginning of next year, people are definitely ready to travel, and we're seeing that with witnessing it in person as well as bookings.
That's really promising to hear, and it's a shame we're lagging a bit behind here in Australia, but it's very optimistic looking, especially from your end, considering that you're in Greece yourself. So it looks great as well. In your opinion, how should multi-day tour operators and agents prep themselves as a few countries gingerly relax these restrictions, like we mentioned, and reopen borders?
Yeah, it has been quite difficult for them with the ever-changing border restrictions across the world, but they have modified their businesses with cancellation policies just to give the consumer confidence that if something does change last minute, they have the confidence that the operator or the agent's going to look after them. We also found a big surge in tour operators as well as selling partners to invest in technology. So improving their back-end systems, which ultimately improves their connectivity and distribution. So what does that mean? It means that their businesses can run far more efficient. It's a massive time savings for them. And for selling agents or distribution and travel agents, it's also a huge time saver and access to new products and revenue.
Absolutely, and we've obviously seen quite an evolution in the travel tech space over the period, despite the restrictions on travel. Now, you mentioned the flexibility that tour operators and businesses have had to offer to consumers. Is this flexibility here to stay, do you think?
Look, I think so. I don't see why it wouldn't. I think that the COVID has taught many industries, including the travel industry, many lessons, and I think with these sort of flexible options, it's been very popular for travellers. Also for credits, I think that's really the best way for these businesses to operate, that they can keep the consumer or the traveller that's with their product. They're obviously wanting to be with their brand, and hopefully put them onto a different trip so that they don't actually lose their holiday.
Definitely. Hopefully that's the case for some time to come. Now, onto your platform, 𝐷𝐿 is a complete and tech-empowered streamlined booking system. Could you tell us a bit about your online booking software and supplier booking platform?
Yeah, certainly. So to put it in the way that we usually chat about it, we're like the connector or the conduit between a tour operator and their selling partners or travel agents. So we provide the technology to enable tour operators to access new revenue streams, new selling partners, and the travel agent can access these new products. So our software is a full back-end booking and reservation system.
Now, Murray, if you're still with me, for those viewers that are wondering, how do your distribution partners earn revenue?
Yes, sorry about the technical difficulties. So we promote direct commercial relationships between the tour operator and the selling partner, so they can earn the full commissions on the sale of the tours.
That is really good to hear. And if you can give us an idea, how many partners do you have in the works? What's the scope of this deal?
Yeah, so we have about 500,000 multi-day tour departures in our system already, and a global sort of network of distribution partners that is currently sitting around 10 to 12, but we're in continuous negotiations to provide more value to our tour operators that are in there. So it's ever evolving, but it's a process that the travel industry is looking far more at digitalising multi-day tours. So we are getting a lot more interest, particularly out of COVID, which has highlighted to this industry that they need to be more online and have further revenue streams to distribution partners, and that's what we provide.
Very impressive. It's certainly great to see that growth you've achieved so far, especially. And considering this growth you've had, are you looking at expanding further, perhaps into other markets, or growing this distribution partner channel even further?
Absolutely. Most of our partnerships are already international, but that's why I'm over here in Europe at the moment. I'll be in UK beginning of or the end of next month, and then going to the US. And this is all to drive the expansion into these other markets, because we are looking for more multi-day tour operators and also more selling partners that would want to benefit from the commissions that are available through these multi-day tours.
That's great to hear. And I imagine that obviously demand might be greater in those markets at the moment, as they're obviously experiencing much more lax laws in terms of travel restrictions. Is that the case?
That's absolutely the case. Yeah, so they're definitely. I can't believe how busy it is over here, but they're definitely travelling, and a lot of Americans are travelling over here. I think just as of beginning of November, USA is going to open up to foreign travellers from Euro and the UK, which is really great news. And I would highly suspect that we're back to very close to normal levels by January, February next year.
Well, it's very great to hear, especially for 𝐷𝐴migo and your business. But obviously we're a little bit envious here in Australia. But nevertheless, it's expected.
It's perks of the job.
Yeah, definitely. Just before we wrap up now, Mari, what's been your favourite emerging trend in the travel industry recently that you're hoping to leverage at 𝐷𝐴migo?
Yeah, we're finding travellers are travelling for longer. They're looking for more local experiences and more immersive experiences. And we're finding that a lot more people are booking online. And that's sort of been a bit of a byproduct of COVID because they haven't really had a choice. We're just finding that a lot more people are more comfortable either researching online and then booking at a travel agency, or processing the booking online for a higher value item such as multi-day tours.
Right, that's really interesting. You've obviously seen the complete digitization of the industry, and that's obviously something that you've been able to take advantage of with 𝐷𝐴migo. Although it's surprising to hear that the length and duration of the tourist stay and experiences has changed.
Yeah, and I wouldn't quite say we're digitalized just yet in the multi-day tours, but we certainly, as when I got cut off before, we have built out booking and reservation software that is the full back-end system for multi-day tour operations. So this allows them to build itineraries, reporting. They can manage all of their suppliers, their finances, their commercial overlays. They can pay all their suppliers through the one system. So it's the first step to producing a system that's specifically designed for their business, which is leading to they always get a live connectivity feed from that system. So it has had a huge impact, the COVID pandemic, and it has not only changed the travel industry, but it's also changed the consumer behaviours. Not drastically for the consumer and travellers, people still want to go to the same places, but they're just, when we find that people might have been travelling for a week, they might be travelling for 2 or 3 weeks at this stage, for booking wise.
Right, I don't doubt that. It's quite interesting as well, and it'll be interesting to see how that pans out and if that consumer behaviour pattern is something that stays. But obviously the industry is still evolving as we emerge out of the pandemic, especially on the digital front. And on that note, though, that's just about all we've got time for. But I've got to say thanks so much for joining us today, Murray. It's been great to hear insights.
Thank you very, very much for having me and the time, and sorry about those that little technical difficulty in the middle.
Not a problem. Pleasure to have you on. And thanks for your time as well, viewers. If you've just joined us, we've had a stellar discussion with Mr. Murray Decker of Tour Amigo. You can catch this edition of Executive Corner Expert Talks on the 𝐾𝐤𝐼𝐴 channel later today. But for now, thanks for your time and stay tuned to 𝐾𝐤𝐼𝐴 TV for more live updates.